part two of group policy objects for the recording of today. And based on what we've done so far before the break, do we have any question relating to GPO configuration that we did now and how it's different or complicated from what we've done before, or you need a better clarity on what you see based on your old configuration and based on this new configuration, so I can be able to explain to you before we proceed into other configuration. So the floor is open for a minute or two. If there's any question, then we can proceed from there.
No question from my side.
Okay. Any other person? Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, let's proceed. So what we're going to do now, I'll be sharing my screen. All we're going to do for the rest of the time today is going to be configuration. I guess we have like 7 or 6 or 8 configuration left. So it's not a long configuration, so don't be scared. So let me share my screen. Screen 1, okay. Then I'm going to call up my DC one. Okay. Let's log into it. Anytime you change from one screen to the other, the resolution changes. So that's why I see I do set my resolution when I move machine from one place to the other. Okay, so what we're going to be doing now is this. We want to work on GPO configuration on how to disable a user, disable people from being able to go to, control panel or, majority of the settings. So if they want to go like I'm opening now, we want to be able to disable this action. We'll first do for everyone, then we're going to do a kind of a release to a particular group of users. Then we're also going to look at how we can reference policies as well. Okay, so what we're going to do, number one, this is it. We'll go to, I'm going to close everything. So it looks fresh, so you can pick up from anywhere at any point in time. So I'm closing our previous open screens. Orders. Okay, so we don't need these notepads. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go to our group policy management. Like I told you, you can go through group policy management, click on tools and click on your group policy management, or you just go through the start button and bring it out. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a GPO and we're going to call it, because it's two things that we're going to be doing relating to control panel. So we're just going to create it and call it control panel access. Okay, so we come here and say control panel access. Okay, so credit, then we edit it. So now what we want to do is that we want to disable the use for it. So once it is open, we go to our policy because we're applying it to users. We click on preference, then we go to our control panel. Rather than Windows, we go to control panel. Okay, so let's expand it. Click on it. Go to something is not right. No. Okay, control panel. Let's see. Folders. Sorry, there's something I'm looking for. Something is not right here. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Sometimes you have to look for this thing. So when you come to users, you go to policy. Okay, then you go to your Windows settings. No, sorry. You go to administrative templates. Then you see control panel here. So when you open your policy, let me do it again. So you said this is what we're working on the control panel access. Okay, then we're going to edit it. Then when you edit, you go to under users, you go to your policy, then we go to administrative templates. Then you go to control panel. Okay. Okay. You go to control panel, you click on it. Then you're going to look here. You see where it says prohibit access to control panel and PC settings. So you're going to double click it. Okay. Then we're going to enable this policy. We apply it and you say, okay. Yep, that's it. Can you see control panel, prohibit? That's it. Then you close it. It's there already. So you can enforce it across board. So you enforce. And let's run GPO updates. And I'm doing it there because it's going to be applicable across board. So GPO updates, let's say false. When you're working in your lab, you can also play with any of those settings, but always remember what you've done, just in case the system kicks you out or restricts you from doing important things. So you know that, okay, you remember what you've done so far. So it's run. So let's see what happens here. Can you see it? Can you guys see it?
Yes, I can. So admins and domain users, no one can access to this.
I've disabled everyone to be able to, from being able to access it. Do you understand?
Yes, and if you want to release it back, you should go back to domain controller, right?
As a matter of fact, we can allow administrator, you know, it is done, even administrator don't have access to it anymore. We can do that. Just go back to the policy. Okay, you come back here, you go to group policy objects. Yeah, group policy objects. Let's see. Oh, no, hold on. We come here to the group policy itself. See settings. Okay, you see here under delegation. Okay, we can come to here and say advanced. Okay. Then we're gonna go, you know, you're here already. So you might say, okay, fine. I want administrators to be able to have access to it. So I can come to domain admin and I can deny this policy from being able to work on them and say, apply group policy object. I say deny. So this will only work for only domain administrators, okay? Only domain administrators. So if I click apply, you say yes, okay? Yeah, so that's it. Again, I can also say, yeah, that's okay. Domain administrator. So you say okay, okay. Then we say we run the updates again and say GPO update. So what I've done is that any domain admin, the rule will not apply to them. Do you understand?
Yes, and we can add any users.
We can also restrict users as well. We can apply to, you can restrict on certain users. So we can create a group of users. Okay, then we add the group of users there, then we restrict it and say deny the application of this policy to them.
And we can follow same procedure for any GPO.
Yes, we can follow the same procedure for any GPO. You can exit whatever it is that you want to exit. And I'll show you guys another thing again after that is done. So with this, so let's go back to this computer and right click and say settings. Can you see it? Can you see it?
I can see it.
Every other person, can you guys see it? So the account I used to log in is a domain admin. That is why it's working. So if I go back again and remove that access that I gave to it and say, hey, come back here, I want it to apply back to you. Okay, and I remove this and I say apply, okay, and I run the update again. If I do it, it's not going to go. So then I'll show you how we can also restrict group of people as well, apart from, you know, having every other person the way we just did now. So I'll go show you guys again another way it can be done. So this is done. If I go back and I try to open the same thing will happen, it's not going to go. Okay, that's a setting. So let me show you guys another way to have that done, where you can also exit, don't allow it to apply to some certain set of people. So if we go to our group policy, for example, and we open crossword this, and we don't want it, when we go to users, we know there are two types of user. We have the domain, admin user here, okay? And we have the staff. We don't want anybody under this admin user to be impacted by, being unable to check, the control panel or settings. So what we can do is that under this user, we're going to create another GPO. And in this time around, we're going to disable the access. So we can say disable, okay, hold on. We say allow control panel access. Okay, let's say, okay, we're just repeating the same thing. You're just going to come here. We're going to edit it. Okay, then we go under user configuration, like we did the other time. Okay, we go to policy, we go to advanced administrative template. You click on control panel, then you come here under prohibit access to control panel. It said not configured, but this time around, rather than saying enable, to say, oh, do not have access to it, we say disable. Okay, so it's going to disable that function from it. So this is applicable to only the users in this account. And the only person in this account is AD join. So even when I run here, okay, and I say false, the accounts that I used to log into my control panel will still not have the right to be able to do it. Okay, so let me show you guys. Okay, that is done. So if I come here and I right click, it's still not going to be able to do it. Say, you see? But if I switch the account and I say, okay, I'm switching the account now, and I want to log in as okay, let's log into another machine. Hold on. Assuming we log into here. Okay, let's log into the machine. Let's first log in as one of the users here. Let's use the part and say S1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm expanding it, don't worry about this. The problem, yeah, it's opening now because the policy has not run. So let's use the opportunity to change the settings. If it's that the GPO has been executed, we're not going to be able to do that. So here, let's run the policy. And also, when you do it, you might also check to see if it's telling you that it's not effective yet. You might want to see what policies on the machine. And I believe I've already told you guys how to do that when you use GPO results space /H. So this policy has been applied here. Let's see if it's working now. Can you see? So if that policy has run before I change the screen, I wouldn't have been able to change the screen. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay, so now on the same machine, I'm going to log in as the only user in that container, in that OU, that has the privilege to be able to do that. So I'm going to sign out, and I'm going to log in as AD join, and we'll see that only AD join we have access to it. So I click here, and I switch user, and I go to AD join. Okay, and I type the password. Only this is the user that is in that container, in that OU. So if you click here, this is what I'm saying. When you come here and we open administrative, user and computer. If you come here under admin, you see there's only one person that is there. So that is why. Every other person exists under staff here. So if you come here, this is who is joined. And And you can know who exactly logged in. If you don't want to stress yourself, just type, who am I? And the system will tell you. So this is AD join. So if you right click, you'll be able to going to work effectively because AD join, it said this file does not install. Okay, let's run the GPO because that should not be impacted by it. So we say GP updates /force. If it's doing like that, the only thing we can do is we'll go and enforce that configuration. So that is it. So let's try it again. Okay, so what we're going to do, the reason why it's like that is because of this. What I did here under the GPO was enforcing. So I'll remove the enforcing out of it. So it doesn't prevent every other configuration from going in. So that is here. Then I'll remove the enforce. It's still going to be enabled, but I'll remove the enforce. Okay, and I'll run the GPO. I run the GPO update, sorry. Okay. Then go back to Windows 10. Let's run it. Okay. Can you guys see it? Can you guys see it?
Yes.
So it doesn't mean because I removed the enforce that is not working. The only thing about enforce is that regardless of anything, that rule must enforce. If I switch back the account and go back to one of those users that was logged in the other time, they're still not going to be able to log in because we didn't extend that privilege to disable for them. So if I come here and I go to like Pat Tom, for example, on the type, click enter. So I'm gonna run the policy. Let's run the policy just in case to be on the safer side. Say GP updates /force. Okay, let's see who is in. Who am I? But see, so let's go check. You see that the role is still effective. Can you see it? It's only applicable. So that's when you're using the enforce function, always be careful before you apply it. Do you guys understand?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that is it, and that's how you can use it to eliminate. There's also when people tell you, say, oh, we have some set of administrator and we want to disable certain GPO or group of GPO. That's what I've already shown you. Just that I moved ahead of it, the configuration. And what am I saying? I'm saying something like this, where you have the GPO here, access here, and here. Oh, come on. Okay, and this is what it's saying. What I mean when people say disable for administrators is when we click here, it opens and you go to delegation, then you go to domain admin, or you created another group. So you can add your group to it. For example, like that one we created the other time, I can come here and say add, and can say GPR_admin. And you can add it. Yep, read is asking for what kind of permission do they want. You say not just read, but I want them to have all these, and you say okay. So you can add your own account to it, which is this, right? So, and you can apply the settings. You can exclude people that are here. So remember under admin here, what we did here is if you go to domain admin, okay, we did not deny the access for them. So if you don't want to do that, but not just all the admin, but specific admin, you add your own, okay, then you exclude it. So you see here, we're excluding and say, hey, on anything that has to do with group admin, I want you to not allow this policy to run for them. And you say, okay, and you say yes. So now, even though this is a group admin, this is also a domain admin, you are saying all domain admin, I don't care. Only some set of administrator that don't want this rule to be applied to, which is what we've done here. Do you guys understand what I just said? Do you guys understand what I just said?
Yes, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Fazel, you understood? Fazel? Fazel, are you there? Okay. Kanishka? Big? Do you guys
Yes,
have any
yes, yes, I
questions?
understand. I got it.
Yes, yes, I'm here.
Yes.
I got it.
Okay, understood. Thank you. So that is it. So what the last okay, I won't say the last one of the configuration we have again, which we've done before, but now we're going to take it to a next level. And what am I saying? I want us to have a wallpaper. We've done it before. But in this situation, I want us to have two sets of wallpaper. The kind of wallpaper that the admin gets should be different from the kind of wallpaper that every other domain user gets. So number one, let's try to look for two pictures online. Then I can show you guys what I'm saying. So meaning that as an administrator or group of people, when you log in, what kind of background do you see? As a user, just a normal user, what kind of background do you see? So let's try to look for two backgrounds online. And we apply it through GPO. So we say, Google, come on, man. Oh, okay, something is acting funny, that's why. Hold on, let me change something. Okay. So Google. Let's look for two good wallpaper pictures and just say wallpaper. Okay, we're gonna look for very good resolution or very good pictures out of the two. Okay, because administrator, let's use this for administrator. So I'm gonna save this and say save as. Okay, I want to save it under drive C. I want to call it, let's create a folder. And let's title wallpaper. Okay. I want to save it here, so let's call this admin. Let's look for another one and call it a user. So let's see. Let's use this for users. Let's see the resolution. Okay, that's good. Okay, then we say user. Okay, so we have two pictures already. So let's look for it. So we have this. Go to drive C. We'll go to wallpaper. You see the two pictures. So you can see the bigger view. We go to large gesture. Okay, okay, it's not showing. So this is what we've done for admin. Okay, and this is what we've used for users. So you see the difference. So by the time we're applying the settings to them. Okay, so what do we want to do? So number two is we're going to share this folder. Okay, this path. Go to properties. We go to sharing. Okay, then we share. Sorry. Let's just go to advanced and share this folder and say apply. Yes, so this is the folder that we're sharing. Okay, and we'll put this. Let's open a notepad. Okay, so we say close. Okay, let's do something. Come here. Then we'll go to security. Let's put domain users. We say check users and say okay. One and two access, we say okay. Okay. So I just shared, that's all I did. So if I paste that folder here, there are two things there. I'm just trying to get one part. So this is admin. If you want to get the full extension, all you need to do, see why you have to be careful. They don't have the same extension. This one is .png, this one is .jpeg. So I want to get the exact path. So all I need to do is to put another backslash. You see, it's going to give you the name. So I come here, I copy. That's for admin. Okay, then I'm going to copy again for the user. Say backslash. And here, copy. Okay, so we have that. So what we want to do now, we want to like allow every admin person to log in and have this background, and every other user to have this background. Okay, so we have to go back to our GPO. So we're going to close this. I always want us to open it again so we know what exactly we're working on. All right. Okay. So yeah, so now we come here, start. We can come through here and go to our group policy. You just type group policy. Group policy management. So we've created wallpaper before, like I said, but this is going to be different now. So what we're going to do, we're going to target two users. So you come here. So we have two users. We have the one for admin, and we also have the one for staff. So we want to configure the one for admin first. So you click here, and you say create a GPO, and you say admin wallpaper. Okay. So what you want to do, you see this, so you click here, okay, then you edit it. Once it is exit, open it. You go to, we set, like I said, we're setting for users. So you come here and you set your policy. You go to administrative template. You open it. So when you get to administrative template, you select desktop. Okay, then you select desktop again. Then you should see here, desktop wallpaper. Okay, you double click on it. So what we're trying to do is to enable it. And this is for admin, don't forget. So all you need to do, let's just copy the path for the admin, which is this. And we paste it here. Okay, and we specify how you want the wallpaper style to be. We're going to say we want it to fill the entire page. Okay, then we say apply. Okay, we're done. That is it. So we go back again and we do for other staffs. So meaning that anybody under staffs here. Okay, we create here and we create again users and we say user wallpaper. Okay, so we open here and we edit policy as if none, window administrative template. You go to desktop, then you go to desktop. Okay, then we have wallpaper. Then we enable, but this situation now we're changing it and we say you want you to use this. Okay, we say fill as well and we say apply. Now, for us to be able to know really what we're working on, now I'm going to update first. I'm going to update GPO before I do anything. And I'm going to show you guys something so that we don't have complications, okay? Let's minimize here. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to go to Active Directory users and computers. Then I'll show you one thing I want to do. This has nothing to do with anything, but just to be clear, I want to remove these two groups out of these users, and I'm going to put it somewhere else. Okay, so I'm going to create here and say new OU. So I can call it user, I can just call it groups. Okay, so then I'm going to move those users and go to staff here and here. I want to move it to group so that it does not being imparted due to some certain set of configurations. So we did for staff. So I'm expecting anybody from here logs in they should get the second picture in terms of their background, and anybody logs in here should get the other one. So that is done. I'm just going to run update again to take effect. You won't know from your domain controller unless we start or sign out from the domain controller. Sometimes it shows directly, but in the absence of why before that is done, okay, we can do something. So here, I'm just going to we're going to test using this machine. Okay, I'm just going to go in and say path, type the password. The policy is yet to run, so run the policy. If it doesn't, we're just going to restart the machine. At the same time, there's a way to check if it has the policy, which I've already showed you guys before, but I will show you again. And now to do that, we can do GPO results /h. The same, sorry, seems it's /r. Okay, that's /r. The system will tell you all the policies that exist. That's where you'll be able to know if the one we just created is there or not. So it already have the user wallpaper, but it's not effective now. We're just going to restart. To do that, you have to type GPO results /r. It tells you all and the name of the user, the path which the user is. If you're trying to get anything out, it's going to tell you all the policies that is applied on the machine and at what level. So now it's not showing yet. Let's just restart the computer and log in, because I told you replications, download of content, to different machines take some time as well. So I'm going to restart the Windows 10 machine and let's see what happens. But while the system is starting, the floor is open. Please, if you have any question, do not hesitate. Please ask.
No question from me.
Thank you.
Samuel, can we use GPO to access user to have access to the internet?
Yes, you can use GPO to disable and allow. You can apply settings, different kind of settings. But it doesn't, most effective one from preventing internet is always through firewall. But you can apply settings for Internet Explorer. I'm going to show you guys. You understand?
Yes, thank you.
Any question from anyone? Any question? I want to believe that we all understood what I was saying, if there's no question. But if there's any question at any point in time, do not hesitate, like I said, to ask, please. So here, we type in the password. Can you guys see it?
Yep.
Can you guys see? I'm only hearing from a few people. I just want to know if everybody's watching.
Yes, I can see it. It seems like a domain user.
So this is for the user. So we're going to log in now using administrator. So I'm going to sign out and use administrator to go in. And let's see what happens. So we're going to sign out. So I'll log in as a user as part of the domain admin, which is going to be AD-join. Let's see the kind of wallpaper that is going to show us to see if it's really working or not. So let's switch. Remember, this is Pat John. Okay, so AD-join. We come here and type the password. Let's see the kind of background that it's going to give us. Can you say it? On the same machine.
Oh, yeah.
So if I
And then,
sign out again and use any other name and say sign out, let's use the other guy, Philip John, that's PJ, and let's see what it's going to give us. So the system just flipped by itself. So depending on the user that is logging in and what you've applied to them. So if we come here and we say PJ, the reason why I'm showing you guys this, it might not really look serious, but the reason why it's important is that you might be working in some certain organization and client service will tell you, anytime a client service log into a machine, this is what we want. And infrastructure will tell you when we log in, this is what we want to see. Network team will tell you when we log in, we want to see a couple of switches, routers on our desktop and not just what they see. So everybody might want to have their own image, to show on their computer depending on their department. So that's why it is important to understand how this thing is being applied across different organizational units within your domain controller. Do we all understand?
oh, yes.
Okay, so we have 3 more configurations to go for the day. And those configuration, number 1 is going to deal with, we're going to be looking at group policy object, which is what we're doing, but look at it from a different angle. We're going to look at how exactly can we restore a deleted group object. How can we disable a group policy object that we create? How can we back up a group policy object? And how can we restore the group policy object? It seems it's 4, so let's see what happens from there. So we're going to come here. We're going to go to our group policy. We don't need this anymore. And we open our group policy, which is this. Remember, like Kanishika said the other time, if you click on group policy object, you're going to see all the policies that has been created, either the one that is enabled, the one that is disabled, which one you delete, you still see everything. So now what we're going to do is this. Look at this administrative shared folder. Okay. I'm going to delete. Okay, let's say enable remote desktop. I'm going to delete it from here. Okay, maybe I mistakenly delete it. I removed it and say, hey, delete. Now, when you delete a group policy object, it doesn't go like that from your computer. It's still somewhere. So whatever that you've deleted, you delete it from here, but it's still going to be under group policy object. Remember, we deleted remote desktop. If you click here, you're still going to see remote desktop here. Can you see? But if you look at it, it doesn't exist anymore. Okay, this is remote desktop, enable remote desktop users. So if you click here, you delete this one as well, it's still there. So both remote desktop, they're deleted, but they're still here. So if I go out, I come in again, you see that both of them are here. So I can return it back by just copying it and paste back. So I can come here and say copy, then I can come under here, which is where it's applied, and I say, okay, apply the setting and say copy back. It's going to tell you that do you want to link the group policy object? You have selected, you said okay, then it's going to return it and tell you that 2 group policy object has been successfully linked and copied. Can you see? So when you delete something, the only reason why you will delete and you will no longer see it again is if you delete it from here and you go here under group policy object and you delete it, it is gone completely. Okay? Even when you delete from here, you can still call it back at some level. And I'm going to show you guys how that is done. So now you can also disable, assuming you have a policy that is being created and you want to disable it, right? So you can, hold on. I deleted something and I want to put it back. So I can come here. Okay, say copy. Okay, hold on. Yeah. So now what we want to do now is assuming I have this policy that says enable desktop and this other one, I can decide to disable both and say, hey, I don't want it implemented. So come here, right click on it. If you want to disable, you will not see the word disable, but you just remove the link enable. So when you remove it, it becomes disable. So if you look at it very well, you see that the arrow is light black rather than the black that arrow exists here. So you can disable this one again by removing this. It means that I've disabled both enable desktop and enable remote desktop. I disabled these two, from existing. From being linked to anyone is there, but it's disabled. So if I come to group policy object, you see everything here, but it's no longer working at this level because it has been what? It has been removed. It has been disabled from functioning at that capacity. Okay, so that's how that works, and you can return it back by saying that you're linking it. Okay, you link that. You always look at the icon, you see that something is happening to the black. Immediately you're removing and linking it back. Okay, so that's how you can link and unlink. Then we'll look at how do you delete permanently, like I mentioned the other time. Assuming I don't want this remote, enable remote desktop, okay? And I delete it. I say, okay, let's delete it. I say delete here, okay? If you want to permanently delete it, you come here and you come to here, here, and you remove it. You delete it as well. Then the system will tell you, do you want to delete this GPO and not the links to it in the domain? This will not delete the link in other domains. Say delete. So the system has automatically removed it. So anywhere you won't find it anymore. You have completely removed it from the GPO. Then one thing is this. Now you've deleted. What else can you do? You won't be able to back up all your GPO just in case one day you're working and mistakenly you right click on something and boom, everything is gone. How can you return it back? So what we want to do is this. Again, assuming our configuration on the GPU on DC1 is having a problem. You want our DC2 to have that backup so you can restore at any point in time. So this is our DC1. Let's call up our DC2, okay? And do our configuration. So let me call up DC2. Then I'll show you how you can back up. You can back up on the same machine, but it doesn't really make sense to me. So let me show you how to back up remotely. While the server is coming up, if you have any question, please ask.
No question from my side.
Thank you.
Samir, what are those starter GPUs down there?
What?
Starter GPUs.
We'll get there. Don't complicate what you know now. It's part of what we'll do tomorrow. Okay?
Okay.
I don't want to start talking about it and deviate from what we're doing now. You understand? You understand?
Yes, I understood.
Okay, I just logged into our vCenter. I'm going to call up VC2 now. Then we're going to work with it. It's coming up. So this is 1, this is 2. Let's create a folder. Okay. Okay, so we'll go to drive C. I'm going to call it backup. And this backup, I don't want to be visible so people don't mistakenly delete it or view it or make changes at any point. So as we've known, I'm going to add a $sign to it. No, sorry. Close backup. Here, advanced. So we will have backup with the $sign. Then we'll give it permission. And then we're going to remove everyone. I don't want everyone to have access to it. I only want domain admin. Okay, say okay. And I want domain admin to have a full control of the folder. Okay, then I said apply. Then we copy the paths because that's what we need for our configuration. Okay, and say close. So that's what we need here. Let me just put it on a notepad just in case. Okay, leave it. So we go back to DC1. Okay, then we can create a backup for our domain controller. So say we come here on our GPO. Okay, right click on our GPO. Can you guys see it?
Yes, I can see.
Okay, so we're gonna create on backup all. Then you specify the location. So the location that we want to put it. Okay, it's not showing. So we can say backup. Lab-DC-02 backup. Then we have backup with a $sign. Okay, you can put a description if you want to, but if it's not, you can just say backup. So the system will back up all what we have here. And the whole essence is that if you accidentally delete everything, from your GP object, you can call it back. So you see it's backing everything up. So this is how you back up your GPO when you're working with Active Directory, just in case anything happens. And probably you did you make some adjustments to the configuration and boom, things went sideways and you want to return back. So if you click OK, if I go back to my DC2, see what we've done. If you open here, can you see all the backups?
Yes.
Yes.
So if I go back to DC1, for example, now this is how it works. Assuming I come here and I delete some, say, administrative share. Okay. And I come here and I delete administrative share. By default, you will not see anything, right? It's gone. But you can call it back. And how do you do that? You can right click here and you click on manage backups. The system will give you all the backup it did the last time. So you see here as against what you see here. You see under administrative share does not exist on the main default again, but it exists under the backup in this location. You cannot restore multiple. Okay, like say you're selecting you select multiple. You see, immediately I select more than one, you see what happens here. It disabled the restore. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
So I'm going to click only the admin that we deleted and I will say restore. Okay. You said, do you want to restore the selected backup? You said, okay. See what happens here. It's going to put it back. You say, okay. Can you see it? It has returned it back. But when you delete it from here, it's not going to be applied. It's not going to be here. So you need to copy and you need to put it back or you link it. You say copy, then you can come back here and let's paste it there back and say yes. Now, what always happens is that when you delete, you restore back. If you have any WIMP configuration, the WIMP configuration is going to go completely. So you have to do the WIMP the WIMP file filter. Sorry, you have to put that one back if it is done. So it's going to restore it, but any filter that you have there before, you have to put it back. So that is what we have in terms of configuration for today. Then tomorrow we're going to wrap up with the remaining relating to group policy objects. So the floor is open, should in case you have questions before we call it a day.
No questions from me.
Kanishika?
Yes, Samir.
Any question?
No question from my side.
Okay. Usna? Usna?
Yes, Samal, I'm here.
Any question?
No question for now.
Okay. Big? Abdul?
No
Fazel?
question right now.
Okay. Fazel, any question?
No question.
No question. Thank you.
Okay, guys, thank you. So once we do tomorrow's class, please, everyone, if you know that you've not wrapped up on your what's it called, If you've not wrapped up on all your domain Active Directory and Windows Server class, please ensure you have a recap, because from next week we're going to go into SCCM. I want you to pay close attention to it. There's a lot of money relating to SCCM in the market. So if you can learn it, grab as much as you can when I start talking about it. It is very important for you to understand what and what in terms of capacity that SCCM can be able to do in terms of its offerings. So because once we go to SCCM, we're not going back into the preliminaries when it comes to Active Directory configuration. We will be doing some things there, but we won't be going too deep because it's not part of the class. And we'll just be looking at the operational side of the business, which is something that a lot of people work with today in the office premises, right? So you guys, please start revising everything, catch up on everything you've known, upgrade your skills, and so you can have better negotiating power, the kind of jobs you can be able to do. So the floor is open for a minute or two before we call it a day and see each other tomorrow.
Thank you, Samuel. I don't have any questions for now or today.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, same here.
Thank you. Okay, guys, we'll call it a day. We'll meet tomorrow. I'll send a meeting invite. I'm going to share the video immediately it is available. The first one should be available by now, but I'm going to share both to your email so you can be able to download it. So do have a great one. See you tomorrow.
All right, have a good night. See you.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, bye.